Gohan is still to this day one of the most beloved characters from the Dragon Ball franchise. Fans will often wonder just how powerful he could have been if he never took the time off his training after the Cell Saga. He could have perhaps even surpassed Goku and Vegeta. Who knows, but that is perhaps a discussion for another video. Today, let's talk about the full story of Gohan. So, Gohan is first introduced in Dragon Ball Z as the 4-year-old son of Goku. He was named after his adopted great-grandfather. Gohan's story really begins when he is kidnapped by a Saiyan named Raditz, who just so happens to be his uncle. With Goku defeated and pinned to the ground when attempting to save his son in a battle against Raditz, Gohan explodes in rage, releasing his dormant power, injuring Raditz in the process. A fight between Goku and Raditz follows, which results in Goku's death. Piccolo takes Gohan away to train and prepare him to defend Earth against two invading Saiyans, Nappa and Vegeta. During their training, Piccolo and Gohan form a very close friendship, despite the complicated past that Piccolo has with Goku. This bond leads Piccolo to sacrificing himself to save Gohan during their later fight with Nappa. Then, after Vegeta's eventual defeat, Gohan travels with Bulma and Krillin to planet Namek in order to use the Dragon Balls there to revive their fallen friends, as the Dragon Balls on Earth had turned to stone due to the Earth's god Kami dying. After succeeding in gathering the Dragon Balls, Gohan and the others wish Piccolo back to life, causing Kami and the Dragon Balls to be returned. Gohan, along with Krillin and Vegeta, are then forced into an encounter with Frieza, who seeks the Dragon Balls for immortality. Shortly after the fight with Frieza begins, Krillin is impaled by one of Frieza's horns. Gohan tries to save Krillin, who has now been thrown into the ocean below. He is extremely angered by being unable to save his friend Krillin and attacks Frieza without hesitation. He manages to knock Frieza into a small island below and then blasts him with a series of energy blasts before ending the attack with a Masenko. Later on in the fight, as Piccolo was getting repeatedly blasted by Frieza, who is now in his third form, Gohan hits Frieza with another Masenko and once again pushes him back with it, but Frieza is able to send it back at Gohan without taking much damage. But he is once again shocked that a child could produce such an attack. Shortly after this, Frieza transforms into his original and most powerful form. Once he does this, he immediately kills Dende, a young Namekian who had been secretly healing Gohan, Krillin, Piccolo and Vegeta. Gohan is again outraged by this and unleashes all of his power against Frieza. However, he is unable to land even a single blow with Frieza in this form. Eventually, Goku returns and arrives on Namek to help his friends. And after he transforms into a Super Saiyan enraged by the death of his best friend Krillin, he defeats Frieza. The planet Namek explodes, and Goku escapes while Frieza is left with serious injuries. Gohan is shown to settle back into school life on Earth, waiting for Goku to return home from Namek. Soon after, Frieza returns with his father King Cold, but they are killed by Trunks, who is from the future, who then tells Goku about the androids. Gohan goes into the wilderness with Goku and Piccolo to train for the upcoming threat. After Vegeta kills Android 19, Dr. Gero, who is Android 20, activates Android 17 and 18, and Cell is discovered. Gohan then enters the Room of Spirit and Time with Goku, where they train for 1 year. Due to the nature of the room, 1 year inside is only 1 day on Earth. Gohan also makes the jump to Super Saiyan while inside the chamber, and after they emerge, both Goku and Gohan retain the physical characteristics of a Super Saiyan without any of the drawbacks in its form, which would usually include increased aggression and perhaps energy loss. After Goku initially fights Cell but realizes that he cannot defeat him, Gohan is called to fight to the surprise of everyone else and Cell. During the fight, Gohan asks Cell to stop the Cell Games tournament, and then he tells him about his power. Cell, instead of heeding Gohan's warning, attacks him in an effort to force Gohan to show his true power. Gohan holds his own for a while until Cell becomes impatient and bored. He releases Cell Juniors on the other fighters to provoke Gohan from attacking. After Android 16 is murdered by Cell, Gohan unleashes his rage and transforms into Super Saiyan 2. Gohan easily defeats the Cell Juniors and proceeds to toy with Cell, now that he has a much greater power level. This backfires, however, as he waits too long to finish off the enemy, who decides to self-destruct when transformed back into his semi-perfect form, as a last-ditch effort to destroy Gohan and the Earth. But Goku, in an act of self-sacrifice, uses teleportation to take Cell to King Kai's planet. Thinking Cell dead, the fighters lower their guard only to be surprised by a blast that kills Trunks. Cell returned, having regenerated from a single cell that survived the blast, and also adopted the instant transmission technique. Right before Cell is about to finish Vegeta, Gohan intercepts, which costs him the use of his left arm. As Cell charges up one final Kamehameha wave to finish the Earth, Gohan hears the voice of his father, who gives him the resolve he needs to defeat Cell. They both launch large Kamehameha waves at each other, which initiates a power struggle. Cell is about to overcome Gohan when Vegeta uses his remaining energy to blast Cell, which distracts him for a single moment. Gohan uses this moment to unleash all of his fury into his attack, which causes it to overpower Cell's. It hits Cell full force, which disintegrates all of his cells, finally killing him. Not long after Cell's death, Gohan is shown enrolled at the Orange Star High School in Satan City. After foiling crimes as a Super Saiyan, he earns the alias the Golden Warrior from the public. But in order to hide his identity, and with help from Bulma, he adopts a superhero persona that he dubs the Great Saiyaman. When his peer, Videl, figures out his identity as the Great Saiyaman, she blackmails him into attending the 25th Tenkaichi Budokai and teaching her to fly. Over time, the two begin to bond together and eventually form a relationship. Later, following Majin Buu's release and Gohan's defeat at his hands, Gohan is taken to the home planet of the Kais. After pulling out the Z-Sword and accidentally breaking it in a training session, Gohan unwittingly releases the old Kai, who then performs a prolonged ceremony to unlock Gohan's latent powers. Gohan then returns to Earth and confronts Buu for a second time and easily defeats him. However, his victory is temporary, as he is overpowered when Buu absorbs Gotenks and Piccolo. He is later absorbed himself as well by Buu. Though Goku and Vegeta manage to rescue him along with Goten, Trunks and Piccolo, he is killed when Buu, now in his pure form, destroys the Earth. Once revived, Gohan is able to aid Goku's Spirit Bomb. Sometime later, Gohan arrives at Bulma's birthday party with Chi-Chi and Videl. He spends some private time with Videl away from the others and is introduced to Beerus, the Destroyer, and Whis following the pair arriving at the party, joining the other attendees in clapping for Beerus and chanting his name. After Beerus is challenged by Buu, who is now good, Beerus defeats him effortlessly. As well as Gotenks, Gohan decides to get involved and charges Beerus. However, he is knocked out when Beerus hits him with Buu's body. Goku intervenes before Beerus can destroy the Earth, and in the group summoning Shenron. They learn how to create a Super Saiyan God at the will of Beerus. Gohan joins with the other Saiyans in holding hands in an attempt to make Goku into a god. When this fails, Beerus tries to destroy the Earth again, aiming directly at them prior to Videl intervening despite Gohan attempting to convince her otherwise. After Videl reveals that she is pregnant, Gohan is super excited. He argues to his father that her joining the circle is the only way to turn Goku into a god, with the use of the extra Saiyan growing inside of her womb. 6 months later, Gohan's first child has been born and is named Pan. Gohan finally becomes the scholar he wanted to be. When he and Piccolo later hear news of Frieza's return, they join Master Roshi, Krillin and Tien and fight him and his army of 1,000 soldiers. Master Roshi asks if Gohan had kept up with his training, which he says he has not, but he can probably still go Super Saiyan. Gohan takes on Frieza's army along with the others. Here the returning frog, Captain Ginyu, switches bodies with Togoma and takes on the Z-Fighters with his immense power. They are beaten easily by Ginyu with just single punches to everyone. Gohan struggles to fight against Ginyu because he hasn't been training to maintain his power. But he transforms into a Super Saiyan and beats Ginyu in several hits, but chooses to spare him. Frieza gets furious because Gohan transformed into a Super Saiyan and spared Ginyu, reminding him of when Goku did the same to him on Namek. Gohan is shot numerous times through the arms, legs, stomach and chest with death beams, leaving him on the ground, nearly completely dead. But just as Frieza attempts to fire a fatal death beam at Gohan, Piccolo gets in front of the beam, once again dying for his friend. Devastated, Gohan expresses regret for not training and not even having the power to protect Piccolo and his family. With Krillin comforting Gohan and assuring him that him giving up fighting to be with his family is not a bad thing. While Frieza taunts and threatens to also kill Videl and Pan, Gohan vows to stop him at all costs. At this time, Bulma manages to contact Whis and inform them of what is happening, so Whis gathers Beerus, Goku and Vegeta, and they attempt to find Earth for Goku. However, Goku can't sense anyone, so Whis shows him a picture of Gohan to assist. Gohan's rage blows and he powers up to Super Saiyan, not only turning the sky black, but putting out more than enough power for Goku and Vegeta to sense. Gohan's body, however, is too injured to go on and his body breaks, dropping him out of the Super Saiyan form, leaving him dazed and powerless. Frieza laughs and fires a death beam at his head, however Goku and Vegeta arrive to block the attack. Goku and Vegeta commend him for putting out so much power that they were able to sense him all the way from Beerus' planet, and that they are proud of him for standing up to the newly empowered Frieza for so long on his own. Goku gives Gohan to Krillin, who brings him back with a Senzu Bean. Gohan retreats with Krillin, leaving the battle to Goku. He then watches the fight between his father and Frieza, and later Vegeta, who steps in after Goku is taken out. After Frieza destroys the Earth, Gohan gets protected by Whis along with the others. Whis undoes time for Goku to be able to get back and kill Frieza and send him back to Earth's hell. After that, Gohan heads back home to see that Videl and Pan are okay and promises to protect them at all costs. He later speaks with Piccolo and tells him that he needs to train. Piccolo, of course, agrees to train with him. Sometime after the encounter with Golden Frieza, Gohan has been training with Piccolo in order to regain his lost power. During the training, Piccolo has grown considerably stronger and has become equal to or even surpassed Gohan. One day while they are training, Goku and Vegeta show up to recruit Piccolo to a team for the Tournament of Destroyers, but Gohan insists that he should take his place because he wants to show off his newfound power. However, after hearing from Goku that the tournament is in 4 days, Gohan is disappointed because he has to attend an important conference for Videl's benefit, and thus he cannot participate in the tournament. Then moving on to the Future Trunks saga in Dragon Ball Super. In the anime, Gohan is met by Future Trunks during a conference, and while having ice cream with him, is sized up by Future Trunks as not having the same power that he once had. After introducing Trunks to his family, Gohan bids Future Trunks a farewell and realizes that he forgot to ask the Future Trunks why he had returned to the past to begin with. He is later called for a meeting about the situation of Trunks' timeline and the true origin of Goku Black, being originally from the Universe 10 Supreme Kai's apprentice, Zamasu, from the unaltered main timeline. Gohan is horrified to learn that Zamasu swapped bodies with Goku through the Super Dragon Balls and killed Goku, Goten and Chi-Chi in that unaltered main timeline, and lastly invaded Future Trunks' timeline with the aid from Zamasu of that timeline to exterminate humanity and kill all gods around the universes. Gohan realizes that this is the reason Trunks had returned to the past. Later, Gohan gets involved in a baseball game against Universe 6 in the role of catcher, shocking everyone when he catches a ball thrown by Goku while in Super Saiyan Blue. A few weeks later, Gohan hears of a Great Saiyaman vs Mr. Satan movie with the role of Great Saiyaman going to Barry Khan, a world-famous actor. Gohan heads to the set with his family and meets Barry. After Vidal turns down his advances, Barry's ego and vanity cause him to change much of the film to make it more action-packed, with stunts that were impossible and fatal for ordinary people to perform. Gohan takes over as stunt double and ends up acting in the majority of the film. As Gohan kept performing these normally fatal and dangerous stunts effortlessly, he kept gaining more and more attention, which of course made Barry extremely jealous. Barry ends up getting infected by a parasite called Watagash, which makes him pretty powerful. Powerful enough to hang with base level Gohan. But Gohan soon goes Super Saiyan and blasts him with a Super Saiyaman beam. The director works this battle into the final cut of the film, which is received overwhelmingly positive by the public. They all attend the premiere, which Goku, of course, falls asleep in. After this, Goten reveals that his dad wants a sparring partner and thought of Gohan. Gohan attempts to get out of it by mentioning Whis, Vegeta, and Piccolo, but they are all busy. Gohan reveals he would love to do it, but he doesn't fight anymore, but knows someone who does and turns into the Great Saiyaman, and approaches his father, who calls him Gohan initially. Gohan protests and tells him that he must have him confused with somebody else. He then dares Goku to take him on, and tells him that he is there to help somebody in need of a sparring partner. Goku accepts and charges Gohan. Gohan, while initially stunned by Goku's speed, was able to block the shot and actually push back his father, with Goku revealing he was testing him and powers up to Super Saiyan, with Gohan throwing off the helmet and going Super Saiyan as well. Ultimately, their match ends when Chi-Chi yells at them to stop as they ended up destroying the entire field and countryside. After learning that future Zen-Oh wants a preview of what a martial arts tournament is, and only gives Goku an hour to find 2 more team members, Goku instantly heads to Earth at the request of Beerus, who yelled at Goku to take responsibility for the destruction of 11 other universes. Goku instantly heads to Vegeta, who turns him down, saying that he is waiting for his child to be born and suggests his son. Goku looks at Goten and Trunks, who are training together, but says they aren't ready yet. Suddenly, he figures out who Vegeta was talking about and goes to Gohan. Goku asks, but Gohan is once again hesitant and says that he still doesn't have his instincts back. Goku tells Gohan that a good fight is all that Gohan will need to get his instincts back, and reminds him of their fight in the fields a few days ago. Goku decides to tell Gohan what the stakes are, and Gohan is scared and asks his dad what they will do if they lose, and Goku says they will deal with it. Gohan, maybe a little disappointed with his father's recklessness, calms down when he sees Pan and Videl, with Videl telling Gohan to partake in the fight and to listen and respect his father's wishes once in a while. Motivated, Gohan agrees to fight. At this time, Hercule and Buu arrive, with Goku convincing Buu to fight as well, bringing along Hercule to act as Buu's handler. Gohan, having found his gi once again, arrives on the sacred world of the Kais. After witnessing Buu's victory, Gohan requests to go next and squares off with his foe, Lavender, and is considering taking it slow so he can regain his fighting senses. Goku tells him no and to go all out from the start. Realizing his father is right, Gohan goes for it, saying he needs to see how strong he is so he knows where he needs to improve. Gohan and Lavender engage each other in rapid fire punches and kicks, with Gohan driving his opponent back. He goes for an early knockout, but Lavender attaches himself to Gohan's arm and sprays him in the face with poison, blinding him. Gohan then begins to concentrate and focuses properly, trying to remember his hidden martial abilities. He eventually turns Super Saiyan, much to the shock to the spectators, who could not initially sense his power. Lavender isn't impressed at the form and attacks again, only for Gohan to deflect the blast and the numerous ones to follow. Then Gohan suddenly charges and attacks himself. Whis says that Gohan is doing brilliant, using his energy like a radar, but says that his Super Saiyan form will accelerate the poison. Gohan attacks and overwhelms Lavender, then heads in for the final blow, but the poison accelerates to Gohan's heart, nearly killing him and powers him back down to normal. Lavender begins to batter a dying Gohan, but Gohan stands back up and powers up once again to Super Saiyan, ignoring the risk to his life. After more exchanges, Gohan manages to restrain Lavender and pile drive him clean through the arena floor, knocking him out cold. A near-dead Gohan rises to his feet and declares himself the winner before passing out. The Grand Priest moves in to inspect the damage and says that since both fighters are unconscious, the fight is a draw, much to everyone's disappointment. A very excited Goku gives his son a senzu bean and tells him how great he was, making him super hyped for his own fight. After the battle, Gohan begins to work with his father to form the team, with Gohan suggesting Piccolo and Master Roshi. When Goku suggests Krillin, Gohan doubts him, but Goku requests they simulate a battle. It was determined initially that Krillin would be slaughtered, but Goku assures everyone that Krillin is different now, and they should see for themselves. They go and get Krillin and Android 18, who both agree, but Gohan wants to test Krillin first, under the tournament rules. He was initially super surprised at Krillin's increased power, but begins, of course, to overpower him. However, Gohan falls out of the ring after Krillin uses his new technique, the times 100 solar flare. Realizing he is still rusty, Gohan heads off to find Piccolo. After finding him and filling him in, Piccolo agrees to be involved, and says he wants to take the time that they have to retrain Gohan to use his old powers once again. Later, Piccolo and Gohan go to find Goku and challenge him to a practice fight. Goku is extremely impressed by his son's power and new ferocity. He then reveals he is stepping down as team captain and appointing Gohan as the new captain of Team Universe 7, much to Gohan's shock. With Gohan now in charge, they reveal the news to Beerus, Whis, Supreme Kai and Old Kai, and Gohan instantly calls a meeting with all the members of his team to develop a strategy. Majin Buu soon falls asleep, and he needs to be replaced on the team as they can't wake him up. Much to Gohan's shock, Goku suggests Frieza. The team agrees as they don't really have much of another choice. When the team is finally complete with its 10 members, Whis takes them to the world of the Void, where they meet the warriors of the other universes. When the tournament begins, Gohan goes over his battle plan with everyone, which is to stand in a circle and fight as a group, and use teamwork. Vegeta protests, calling it boring. When the fighting begins, Goku, 17, 18, Vegeta and Frieza all run off instantly. Gohan and Beerus both protest, but Roshi calms Gohan down quickly, telling him that he shouldn't be shocked that those 5 weren't going to follow the plan. He regains his composure and stands with Tien, Krillin, Piccolo and Roshi to fend off an attack from Universe 9 using teamwork. Gohan's plan actually appears to work, despite Tien, Roshi and Krillin being far weaker than the Universe 9 attackers. During the rest of the Tournament of Power, Gohan defeats fighters from Universes 6, 3 and 10, before Universes 7 and 11 become the only remaining teams in the tournament. During the battle, Gohan teams with Android 17 to battle Top. However, this battle is interrupted when they take notice of Frieza's battle with Dispo. Gohan leaves 17 to hold off Top so that he may go and help Frieza. After a battle, Gohan catches Dispo in a rear naked choke and orders Frieza to eliminate them both. Frieza praises Gohan's plan, saying he is indeed worthy of being called their leader, and fires a death cannon, eliminating both Dispo and Gohan. After his elimination, 18 tends to Gohan and asks if he's okay. Gohan says he is fine as Piccolo and Master Roshi praise his plan of taking out Dispo. Jacko makes his way to Earth, asking Bulma to gather a few warriors together so that they can become special members of the Galactic Patrol while they deal with the situation regarding Moro and his crew. A few months later then, Gohan joins the Dragon Team and Galactic Patrol in preparation for the Galactic Bandit Brigade's assault on Earth. When the convicts scatter across the Earth to steal its riches, the defenders of Earth split up, but Gohan and Piccolo stay to take on the main threat. An invisible 7-3 appears from behind the pair and steals their abilities. However, they are prepared, and despite first using Piccolo's and then Gohan's abilities, the real Gohan and Piccolo are able to outmatch him by using teamwork. The two take him down by using a Masenko beam cannon, and 7-3 resorts to using Moro's energy-draining abilities once again. Before being able to though, he is attacked by Android 17, who arrives along with 18. When 17 almost finishes off 7-3, Moro finally appears and Gohan is staggered by his horrifying energy. When Moro notices that Goku and Vegeta are not yet there, Gohan tells him that they will come, and until that time comes, they are in charge of protecting the Earth. Sagambo steps forward and asks if he can take care of them, as Moro shares some of his powers with him. Gohan and the others find themselves greatly overpowered as Sagambo slams Gohan and Android 17's head into the ground. Gohan continues fighting alongside Piccolo, but even their best efforts are in vain as they withstand their full power attacks. However, of course, Goku appears and quickly displays superiority over Sagambo. Gohan apologizes to Goku for being unable to defend the Earth from Moro, but Goku praises the newfound strength he and Piccolo have gained over the past few months, saying that he hardly recognizes them. Gohan, along with the others, then watch as Goku battles Moro, telling him to go all out as they can use the Dragon Balls to restore any damage. However, Goku loses the bout when he pushes his power too far. Gohan suggests going to help him, but Piccolo tells him that it would just be reckless to jump in, as their power could be absorbed by Moro to make him stronger. When Vegeta returns to Earth to face Moro himself, Gohan once again watches from the sidelines along with Piccolo. At first unsure of what Vegeta's strategy is, he soon notices that the energy is spilling from Moro and forming a ball in the sky. Goku explains that this is known as Force Spirit Fission. Unfortunately, Vegeta's advantage does not last as Moro achieves greater power after absorbing 7-3, much to Gohan's shock. He is able to steal Vegeta's abilities for himself and takes him down. Gohan and Piccolo then choose to attack in unison against Moro, with Piccolo able to grab hold of Moro and distract him long enough for Gohan to ensnare him using Gotenks Galactic Donut technique, so that Goku can perform the instant Kamehameha. Moro quickly regenerates the damage and drives his arm through Goku's chest. Gohan finally snaps and attacks Moro, though he is unable to do so much as make him flinch before he is punched in the face, getting several of his teeth knocked out as a result. He's eventually healed by Dende, and he and the others return to the battlefield during the final battle between Goku and Moro. Gohan and the others give their energy to Vegeta so he can pass it on to Goku in an attempt to revitalize him. After one final push, ode to Oob, Goku defeats Moro once and for all. Gohan and the rest of his friends and family celebrate their hard-earned victory afterwards with a feast at the Satan house. Okay, my friends, that is it. I believe this is the longest YouTube video I have ever made, so I really hope you enjoyed it. It was a real challenge to go through all of Gohan's amazing story and cover the important details without taking up hours of your time at the same time, but also not cut anything important out. It was fun. Be sure to leave a comment down below and let us know which character history you would like to see next on this channel. Thank you all so much for watching, I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time on History of Dragon Ball.